Welcome in to Rock Hard Ball, part of the Dogs Media Network at College Football Dogs. Let's get rock hard. Alrighty, welcome into another edition of Rock Hard Ball. As always, I'm Carter. That's Weezy. No Clyde tonight, though, as he is once again suspended. No, obviously not. Actually suspended.
At a Christmas
party. Say that every time, but yeah, Clyde's at a Christmas party. For some reason, he decided that was more important.
Is it like December 7th?
Yeah, like let's grow up a little bit. So Clyde's not here today, so no Kelly's Kicking Rankings. So probably good for you guys, per usual. Big episode, though, today. Well, shouldn't be super long, but big episode in terms of we got conference championship weekend in college football. So that is obviously very big, and that's kind of the main focus of today's show. We'll go through the major matchups, basically, of the Power 4 conferences that are going to really determine playoff spots. We also have the Mountain West and the American Athletic Championships on tonight as well. So we'll kind of keep you up to date on those. Obviously, the bigger one is Boise State UNLV is basically winning in. If Boise State wins, they should end up with a bye in the playoff, possibly even the 3 seed. And then, obviously, if UNLV wins, they would assumedly still be in over Army if they beat Tulane. But I guess you never know. Maybe they somehow jump in, but I highly doubt it. So
no chance.
Yeah. So basically winning in the Mountain West, so should be good to go. Let's just open up this comment, I guess, right away before you really even get into the games. Sam's in here right away tonight saying, "Can't believe people are trying to say Gene T should win Heisman over Hunter." Shaking my head. How is that a crazy proposition at all?
I don't know. I mean, you look at the last fucking game. Just the stat line was ridiculous, and it was all garbage, bullshit touchdowns. Clearly trying to stat pad. Gene T's been the best. I think he's like on pace to finish as like the third best running back season of all time. Mm-hmm. That's why he should win the Heisman.
Yes. Also, additionally, let's consider the fact that Travis Hunter plays on a team that went 9-3, who they have a quarterback who's also assumedly going to be a Heisman finalist, and that same quarterback won Offensive Player of the Year in Travis Hunter's conference. And the whole thing about Travis Hunter is like he can, be the best player on offense and defense in any given game. Well, obviously, he's not even the best offensive player on his own team.
No.
So he also was not a finalist.
Like he's a world beater corner either.
He's a very respectable finalist for the Thorpe Award, which is the best corner in college football. So, I mean, now Sam's getting in here saying Gene T is 10 for 32 tonight.
Let's predict final stat line, because I've seen him start like this every single time. Mm-hmm. It'll be 32 for 204 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
And Boise will win again.
Yeah, very, very good chance. Boise did it one time. They just about did it there again if the ball wasn't underthrown there. But once UNLV gets the top taken off a couple times, they can't just pack the box all game like they've been doing early on. So, listen, I get it. Travis Hunter absolutely should be a Heisman finalist. And I don't hate you making an argument that he should win. But saying that people can't even make an argument for Gene T is ridiculous. That's where a line absolutely has to be drawn. Say that there shouldn't even be a conversation.
No, it's so stupid.
Yeah, and Hunter being just minus 10,000 is insane. Sam's also making the argument that Gene T farms garbage time every game. Once again, highly disagree. There's been multiple games this year where Gene T's been pulled after the first half.
Yeah, his first 6 games he played. He didn't play in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. So
if it was Colorado, they'd be throwing deep balls to Travis.
Yes. So that part of the argument is pretty weak for me too, Sam. And again, I'm not completely saying that Travis Hunter winning the Heisman should be completely dismissed. It's the fact that you think that Gene T shouldn't even be in the conversation against him. That's
Travis will win, and I'm not gonna say he shouldn't. But like 10,000 minus 10,000 odds is bullshit.
Yeah. No, it doesn't make sense to me. But whatever. Maybe if Gene T runs for 800 tonight, they'll give it to him, but probably still not. All right, good little Heisman talk to open up there. Sam getting us rolling right away. But again, the main focus for today is going to be the conference championship weekend games and what that's going to mean for the college football playoff. So, kind of before we really get into that, I just want to throw this up here again: the current college football playoff picture, assumedly, if it were to end today. So again, we have Oregon in there as the 1, Texas is the 2. SMU would currently be the 3 seed as they're the 3rd highest ranked conference champion. Again, assumedly. Same with Boise State being at the 4, ranked 10th right now, assumed to be the 4th highest ranked conference champion. Arizona State would be the 5th conference champion. They are currently outside of the top 12, but would get in with the auto bid. And then the rest of the rankings fill in there with Penn State, Notre Dame, Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, Indiana, Alabama. And that's what your current playoff looks like. So Obviously, the biggest movers and shifters here are just going to be teams that could play in conference championships, and teams that aren't playing are still probably going to be affected based on how these games go. We already talked about it on Monday. The president of or chairman, whatever, of the cultural playoff committee came out and said that if SMU were to lose to Clemson and lose by a lot, that he can see a potential path where Alabama could jump SMU, which is ridiculous in my opinion. But we'll kind of get into all that. So let's start with the Big 12. That's going to be the earliest game. So that's going to be Iowa State versus Arizona State. And that one we're going to have 16 versus 15. Arizona State at number 15 in the country right now. Iowa State at 16. Arizona State's going to be favored by 1.5. Obviously, this game is similar to the Mountain West. It's win and in. If you lose, you're not getting in. I don't think obviously Boise State's at 10, and I find it very, very hard to believe that they would ever get in without winning this game, but they're taking a 2-touchdown lead right now here towards the end of the first half. But big game here for Iowa State and Arizona State. So stepping away from the playoff picture for a second here, shocking stat I saw about Iowa State. I had no idea. They haven't won a conference championship since 1912.
Serious?
Yeah, Iowa State has not won a conference championship since 2012. Because as Arizona State's kind of got on the run a little bit this year, people are like, oh, yeah, it's been a while since Arizona State's been in contention. They hadn't won a conference championship since 2007. It's like Iowa State has had a good program for years, and it feels like they're kind of always in contention, but they just haven't really been able to get over that hump. So, yeah, it's been over 100 years since Iowa State has won a conference championship.
Big 12 was obviously much tougher.
Yeah.
A year ago. But
yeah, exactly. But still, that is wild for a team like Iowa State, where I feel like
they have one at least, yeah. Like if Purdue can get into a Big Ten championship, they should be able to get in.
Well, I think they've been in one, but they haven't won one since 1912. But still, that's still a ridiculous stat, I think.
I'm going to find out when was the last time they were just in it.
Yeah. I feel like it couldn't have been too terribly long ago. Did they make it maybe with Purdy?
I was thinking with Purdy or maybe Breece Hall or like David Montgomery.
Anyways, though, I think Arizona State is the better team here. I'll kind of just get into my thoughts on the game as Weez pulls that up. But I think Arizona State's the better team. I think they win. According to the ESPN match predictor, they actually have Iowa State winning based on their FPI and shit, whatever they have going on there. But Arizona State's hot. They've been, I think, easily the best team in the Big 12 over the last probably 5 or 6 weeks of the season. And I don't really think anybody would really argue with you too much on that. They've proven it by beating the bigger time conference opponents, Kansas State, BYU, obviously 2 teams who have been in contention at different points of the season for the Big 12, kind of folded towards the end of the year. But they beat them both back 2 weeks and kind of steamrolled through other people. Their rivals, Arizona, beat them heavily. Oklahoma State obviously had a much worse year than we ever expected to. But again, another one where they just pumped them. So Arizona State's had a good year. Iowa State, on the other hand, looked like possibly the runaway favorite early in the year when we saw their teams dropping games that we thought that they shouldn't. Iowa State started out 7-0. The only other team that was, kind of keeping pace with them at one point was BYU. Then they suffered that 1-point loss to Texas Tech, which was one where we thought maybe you could kind of shake it off and move forward. Then the next week they turned around and lose to Kansas when Kansas was just the Big 12 killer there for a while. And now they find themselves with 2 losses. Still got into the Big 12 championship game, though. So I think it's going to be a good game. I think it'll be close. But I do like Arizona State to win. The line's 1.5. So basically, if they win, you would assume that they get pretty damn close to covering. But that's kind of my general thoughts on the game. I think Arizona State's hotter. And I think they're just a better built team at this point.
They're better team. You could argue though Iowa State's been the best team in, the conference the entire year. Obviously 6 weeks ago, we would not have thought that this would have been the championship game. Mm-hmm. But I mean, Iowa State has just consistently kind of been that team. Googled it. Last time they were in it was actually 2020.
Okay.
Lost to Oklahoma. So I would have Purdy would have been on that team.
Yes.
I don't know if he would have been starting though. Would he have been?
Probably because I mean, he was drafted in 2022.
I didn't think he started many years there, but I could have been wrong.
I don't know. He was kind of.
Actually, probably would have been Purdy and Breece Hall together then.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah, I saw that they lost to Oklahoma. Spencer Rattler won MVP.
Okay.
So
we'll throw back for you.
But yeah, no, I agree. I like Arizona State in this one.
Yeah, Sam said that ASU running back is so fun. Cam, yeah, we talked about him a little bit on Monday. Cam Scatabo,
he's a stud.
He's had a very good year. He's rushed for 1,400 yards, 17 touchdowns on the ground. But even more of a factor that makes him dangerous is he's the second leading receiver on the team as well. He has received, I don't know, no, that's not how you would say it. I don't know. He has 500 yards receiving on the year, basically, or just under. And he has a couple touchdowns through the air as well. So obviously, yes, a big factor for Arizona State this year. Their quarterback, Sam Leavitt, has been pretty solid as well. Stats aren't necessarily gaudy, but he's done his job. just under 2,500 yards, 21 touchdowns, 5 picks. So should be a good matchup, like I said. But I do think that Arizona State's a better team. I think they went out here, get themselves in the playoff. The thing I'm probably most curious about with Arizona State is with a dominating win over Iowa State, could they maybe even jump into a higher seed?
No, I don't think so.
Because they'd have to jump. Obviously, Alabama would be the first team that they'd have to jump, and then after that, who is it? Indiana. So like teams like that, I mean, they're 15. They're not necessarily that far out, and Iowa State being at 16 gives you room for kind of a quality win. But then I also kind of think of it on a flip side, which has been kind of a discourse, which we'll probably get into more here as we get into kind of the slower season here, as we're kind of in the dead period of bowls. It's college basketball, and how the net rankings work is like sometimes when you beat an opponent like too bad, it lowers the quality because that hurts them so much on their resume.
100%.
So it's almost like, do you beat them? Like if in the scenario where you are just having your way, do you keep it to like a 20-point game, like not let it get too out of hand to be like, oh, I was
no,
we just handled.
I don't think you can.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But it's just funny that's the only reason I thought of it was because the college basketball stuff that I've been kind of thinking about seeing lately, and it is just super stupid how the net ranking works. But obviously, we can talk about that more during basketball season. But I don't know. I guess final question though, hardline. Do you think if they beat them by like 3 scores, they could jump into like not a 12 seed, anything higher than a 12 seed?
It would have to shake out to where a bunch of teams ahead of them lose conference championships, I think, right?
I mean, maybe, but I feel like the only way that probably happens would be, well, obviously Boise State losing would easily do it.
Yes, but it looks like
they're not going. Because like SMU, like, do we really think that they drop SMU that far?
No, they'd have to get like truly smoked.
Yeah, so it's like, do you take a 10-2 Arizona State, who's coming off of who at that point would be on
I keep thinking
6-game winning streak with a dominating win over Iowa State, a win over BYU, a win over Kansas State. I mean, those are probably their 3 best wins, but
I think they're going to respect the Big 12.
Yeah, probably. Which, I mean, fair enough. They've just
fair. The whole conference
has been kind of a mess.
Yes.
But Arizona State, though, again, I'm going to keep hammering this home. Like, they have looked really good the last few weeks. So, and that the playoff committee has shown in the past that they value recency. Like, how good have you been at the end of the season, and what's your outlook for the playoff? Which is another reason why I don't still really understand why South Carolina didn't get more love over Ole Miss and Alabama, but whatever. Okay, that's kind of the Big 12. Jerry says good boys. So Jerry's calling us
Thanks,
good boys.
Man.
Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate that. Let's go to the SEC. I'm just kind of going in time order of when these games are played. So SEC, obviously a very big one here as well. Georgia versus Texas. Assumedly, the winner of this game gets the number 2 seed in the playoff, and will be on the opposite side of the bracket from Oregon, which is obviously, I think, a big advantage for any team. Texas going to be favored by 2.5 in this one. They come in as the number 2 seed currently in the country, 11-1. That one loss, though, coming, of course, at home against Georgia by 15. Georgia, the number 5 team in the country, 10-2 on the year, with losses to it's Alabama and who was their other loss? I'm blanking.
Who, Georgia?
Yes.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, yes. Okay. And that was a ugly one. They lost by like 18. So obviously both these teams have their flaws.
Georgia gets yet another home game.
Georgia's yet another home game.
We got to call out this bullshit, man.
Yeah, in Atlanta every time. It is stupid. My general thoughts on the game, looking back to the last time that they matched up, I think we kind of maybe misremember that one a little bit. Obviously, Texas didn't play well. Ewers, the combination, I guess, Ewers and like Manning for a couple drives, didn't play very well. However, Georgia didn't really move the ball on offense that game. A lot of it was just due to good field position from turnovers. I think I saw a stat that was like they never actually had a drive that was over 35 yards that resulted in a score. So that's, I think, concerning from a Georgia standpoint. I also think that Texas has one of the best offensive lines in the league. They maybe got beat up a little bit last time they played, or not the league, the country, if not the best. I don't really know if that happens again. So a couple of those factors combined, I think that Texas has the leg up here, and I'd probably take them to win. On the other hand, Carson Beck's been playing much better for Georgia, so Texas has been a lot more consistent with Georgia, and that's kind of, I guess, what I come back to.
Yeah, I think it fully comes down to which version of Carson Beck are we going to get.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get good one. I think Georgia wins again. I don't think it's that crazy. I get they couldn't really move the ball. Beat them by 2 scores at their own place. Now you get a glorified home game, conference championship. Give me Kirby Smart in this spot.
One other thing I want to bring up here in this game going forward, and maybe even in the playoffs, seems to be some real chatter going on, especially with this week and the bum ankle. One thing that Georgia struggled with all season, and even the last Texas game a little bit, was the quarterback's legs. Which quarterback in that room has the much better legs? Arch Manning.
Yeah.
Do we see him in a maybe like an actual, like, if Quinn Ewers gets off to a rough start at all, do we see him early pull and Manning
No.
kills the game? I don't think so at all. I can see it. I think obviously you roll out Quinn Ewers, but I mean, I think most people in the country know, and I had to imagine that coaching staff knows. I don't think they're that far apart in skill. Obviously, the experience from Ewers is huge, but in this game, maybe alone,
think you make a move like that quick in a conference championship game. You just don't do it.
The thing that I saw,
there'll be some design plays with Arch for sure, but
yeah, no, the thing that I saw brought up, which obviously probably gets brought up too much in other scenarios, but in this one, I think makes sense. I think it was Joel Klatt that said it was the Alabama scenario, obviously in the national championship game a few years back. Well, I think even the conference championship game too that year, Tua came in. It's like obviously Hurts the more experienced player, but everybody kind of knew that Tua might have been a little bit more talented. He was more experienced. They roll with him, but he just gets kind of off his game early, and you make the decision to go to that next guy who you know has the talent to do it. You just don't know if he is ready for the moment. He just has to go out there and find out. So that's obviously, I don't think it'd be like super fast, but late first half, maybe early second half, I wouldn't be shocked if we see a move
depends on
by
the
2
score.
scores and he's struggling.
Yeah, I mean, he tried it last time, and then he took Hartrat out right away too. That last game, I just don't see a world where that happens.
Yeah, I think it's.
I think Stark could be way too scared of the criticism if he makes that move and it goes really negative.
Yeah,
like I see a move where obviously Saban's done it, and like what's Saban gonna tell the media? Like, fuck you, I'm Nick Saban.
Yeah,
like I'm smarter than you in every facet of football. I don't think Stark has the balls to pull out a move like that.
Yeah, could be a good point. Sam backing up the Carson Beck talk, been incredible over the last 3, 12-0 ratio. He said he thinks, I believe, I also saw that is true. 12 touchdowns, no turnovers in his last 3 games. So if he can keep that up, then yes, obviously Georgia has a very good chance to win the game. But for now, I think I'm going to roll with Texas narrowly. So I guess that's where one will probably differ. But next championship game that we will go to is the Big Ten. Penn State versus Oregon coming into it. Penn State ranked number 3 in the country. Oregon's ranked number 1 in the country. Oregon's going to be favored by 3.5. Obviously, we already talked about this one.
Wait, why isn't Ohio State in this game?
Oh, because they lost to Michigan.
Oh, fuck yeah, they did. Losers.
We both talked about it. I think Oregon's the better team by just about every imaginable measure. They have the better quarterback. I think they have the better coach, especially in a big game spot. At some point, Penn State has to get the monkey off the back, specifically James Franklin, and win a big game. Same with Drew Aller. I saw the Aller stat again today. He has never lost to a team that is ranked outside the top 15 in the nation, but he has lost every single game against the top 15 team. So not a great look when you're going to play the number 1 team in the country. But yes, I think 3.5 is not enough for Oregon. I think they win by more than that. Again, ESPN's like match predictors are always so funny because they have Penn State at 53.6% here, which I don't know how you come up with that as your formula. But yeah, Oregon wins the game. I think you have the most experienced quarterback in college football history. He's holds records for career passing stats. Should be a Heisman finalist. So, I mean, everything lines up for Oregon. In my opinion, I think they win this game handedly.
They do. I mean, it's like even if you're a Penn State fan, it's like you can't look at like them being in the playoff and being like, "Oh, way to go, James Franklin." I get you won 11-1. You had the worst schedule of all time. You were projected to go 10-2 because people projected USC to be a pretty solid football team this year. They weren't. Newsflash. Like your best win of the year is like a frisky Illinois team. Like that's it. Like, outside of that, you lost at home to Ohio State, which like Ohio State's not an awful team. I get that. Despite the Michigan game. You guys couldn't move the ball against that team in the slightest. Drew Aller is still like, sure, he'll put up pretty good numbers against shitty teams. But, like, it's how many times you've seen him against a tough team. Like Drew Aller's not the guy. I get that this is pretty much going to be a home game for Penn State. Like, I just don't see a world where this spread's 3.
Yeah, no, I think we're pretty aligned on that one. I think it's pretty cut and dry. But obviously, I'm curious if Penn State like somehow does win this game. They can't jump to 1, can they?
No.
They go to 2, no matter who wins the SEC championship game, or do you think if Georgia wins, does Penn State go to 1?
If Georgia wins, Penn State does unfortunately go to 1, right?
Yeah, I think that you have to.
You have to.
You've set the precedent all year that you think Penn State has the better resume and is the better team than Georgia. So,
yeah.
And then if you beat the number 1 team in the country, it's kind of tough to jump them. But
where's Penn State at right now again?
3.
3. Where do they fall if they lose?
I don't think they fall very far. If Georgia wins, they would jump them, obviously. And then Notre Dame probably jumps them. And maybe Ohio State, I guess. So probably 6 at the most.
Okay.
I don't think they can fall farther than 6, can they?
No.
I don't think you can drop them behind Tennessee.
Unless they get smashed.
Unless they get, absolutely manhandled. But because even Tennessee, that's a team who has 2 losses, and Penn State finished the regular season with 1, and then they play the number 1 team in the country. You can't drop them below them for that.
100%.
And the Ohio State one too, I would say even there, I still wouldn't drop them behind them if they hadn't lost them head to head.
Yeah.
So, all right, ACC final of the, relevant conference championship games. The Power 4, Clemson, SMU. SMU's gonna be favored by 2.5. Another one where it's basically a home game for one of the teams because it's in Charlotte, which obviously isn't very far from Clemson.
Speaking of this, do you see SMU's social team?
It's like they're playing in Canada.
It's like mountains and the space field. It's like, what the fuck do you guys think Charlotte looks like?
Yeah, no, it was pretty crazy. I don't know why they think that it's going to be like the tundra, but they're favored by 2.5. Clemson, obviously, a very polarizing team by a lot of measures this year for most people. They got just pounded by Georgia to start the year. Then they go on a run where they're just kicking the shit really out of everybody else until they get to the Louisville game, lose by 12 at home, and then it's like, well, season's over again unless you win out. It seems like lose again, South Carolina at home by 3. Obviously, South Carolina's a very good team, but again, another loss. You're at 3 losses. Miami gifts you though a chance to play in the ACC championship game. So at this point now, obviously Clemson, if you win, you do get in with that auto bid. They would 100% go to that 12th slot as lowest rated conference champion, and they definitely wouldn't get into the top 12 even with a win here. The bigger story in this game, obviously, is on, I guess, both ends of the spectrum for SMU. If they win maybe even by a couple scores, how high can they push in the rankings? And then on the flip side, if they get beat by a few scores, does the committee really drop them all the way out of the playoff picture?
Depends on how many scores, I think. If Clemson goes in and makes a fool out of them, I think the committee will.
Yeah.
Just because they'll fill in a bigger brand in that situation. I don't know though, because first off, who do you think wins the game?
I think SMU wins.
Okay, so I lean Clemson, but again, I don't think this game goes bloodbath in any way.
No, I think it's gonna be close.
In which way, I don't think you can physically drop a team out for a close game and for playing that extra game. By the way, Sam, I hope you're still watching as GT is free.
Goodbye. What was that? 6 yards? More maybe
60, 70, something like that.
Yeah.
I really hope Sam's
nice little jaunt to the end zone. Saw a comment pop up. GT bomb. Man, I bet you feel real stupid, don't you?
Yeah.
Dumbass.
Don't you love 2-minute drill and it's we got a running back?
Yeah. Yeah. There's 35 seconds left in the game. You just hand it off. Takes to the house.
Half. You said game.
Oh, sorry. Half, yeah.
Idiot.
My bad. All right, now Sam says, I'm absolutely with everyone that he's number 2.
I mean,
that's fine if you think that he's number 2, but to say that the whole argument was that you think Travis Hunter's the runaway favorite. I think it's a very close race, or it should be. Anyways, it's not obviously by the odds, but whatever.
Sam, remember when you said he was 10 for 31? It's why does he deserve it? We get it. I think he's 14 for 130 now.
Yeah. Yeah, that was 70.
Yeah, 14 for 132.
Good call. On the dot. Okay. I don't really know what else to say about SMU and Clemson. Seems pretty cut and dry on what needs to happen in that game. Obviously, the biggest game changer there is if Clemson were to blow out at SMU. I guess just hypothetically, let's play on the other side. If SMU blows them out, who could they jump? I would assume that you'd almost kind of have to jump them over Tennessee and Ohio State, wouldn't you?
Who?
SMU, if they blew out Clemson.
I would think again. I don't know how they're going to treat that conference and any like. I think so. Yes.
Okay.
I think you have to.
Yeah. No, you absolutely should. I'm not opposed to that at all. Okay. Well, that kind of does it for the conference championship previews. I feel like we kind of given our thoughts on what happens there. Obviously, Boise State now up going to be 21-0 at the half, assuming that UNLV doesn't somehow score here with 25 seconds left to go in the first half. And they did return it to the 40, so you never know. Maybe they get a shot here. Army's up 21-0.
Oh my God, that's an over's delight. Holy shit.
What?
I have the over in this game, and it's just been 46.
Oh, so
and Tulane's just been turning the ball over in awful spots, missing field goals, and then give me a fucking touchdown with under a minute left. Beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, Army Tulane 21-7 now. Boise State, UNLV still 21-0. Might check back in on those games, but I feels like both of them might be close to over. I don't know. Maybe Tulane could be Army, but again, that doesn't really matter for anything.
No.
And then as for Boise State, obviously if they win, they will be the 4 seed to have some U wins, 3 seed if they don't. So that's kind of that. Throw us out there one more time for anybody wondering. Here's what the current picture would look like if it ended today. If everything holds true as chalk, I have to imagine it stays pretty similar. I guess one more kind of hypothetical as we kind of look at the playoff picture here. What happens if we get a close Georgia loss or a Penn State loss by 3? Do they really drop them very much? Because again, it's tough to do to punish those teams for playing.
No, I don't think you can.
Especially obviously you Georgia, they're at 5, Tennessee's at 7. You obviously can't drop them past them. They beat them.
No, you can't. But it's tough because it's Georgia's third fucking loss.
Yeah, Penn State and Georgia both lose. Does Ohio State jump right back up to 4?
No,
and then we get the 6 seed in the playoff.
I don't think you can.
Shouldn't be able to, but you never know.
I think this I don't get because I keep hearing theories of that shit too. It's why does that I get that game was a huge game. Why does it feel like the loss to Michigan is just kind of being oh, it sucks, Michigan owns. I'm that was a fucking awful loss.
No, I don't think. I'm not. I'm personally at least not really thinking that. It's just more of from a perspective of they did win 11 games. They did, especially Penn State. They beat them head to head. And if Penn State loses to Oregon by more than Ohio State did, then obviously you have that too. And then you said, Georgia would have their third loss.
You could say but then obviously you're.
I'm not really for it. I'm just kind of.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But then the whole theory would be oh, you're taking it out on the conference.
Yeah, exactly. Which I don't like. But
Ohio State takes care of business, and they could be in that same spot where it's but they weren't able to. So now they're on the couch this week.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think that should be a thing.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, let's go to commercial break. When we come back from the quick little 1 minute break, we will talk some NFL, get through the Week 14 slate, then we'll hit Rock Hard Bets for the weekend, and then we'll get you out of here. So you listen to Rock Hard Ball, part of the Dogs Media Network at Cultural Dogs.
Rock Hard Takes.
What?
Did you say Rock Hard Takes?
I didn't. I said Rock Hard Bets.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I don't know. We didn't prepare any, so.
Well, because we're doing a Thursday.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah. So, anyways, yeah, listen to Rock Hard Ball, Dogs Media Network at Cultural Dogs. We will be back in a minute.
On the College Football Dogs website, you'll find a main page that features some of our biggest and newest stories. Our conference pages for content related to your favorite team's conference. Our team store, where we have products that are available all year long, as well as gear available for a limited time only. Our podcast page, where you can see when one of the 12 plus College Football Dogs podcasts is streaming live on social media. Our subscription page, where you can join our Discord. If you're interested in becoming a contributor at College Football Dogs, email us at info@collegefootballdogs.com. If you enjoy any College Football Dogs content, we really do appreciate any donations you can make by visiting the donate page on our website or scanning the QR code here.
College Football Dogs, for the fans.
All righty, welcome back to Rock Hard Ball, again part of the Dogs Media Network at College Football Dogs. Heard in the commercial there, collegefootballdogs.com. Check it out. I believe there's previews out for every conference championship game now. So go give those a read. You can get up to date on anything that we maybe haven't covered. A lot of those writers obviously have covered those teams all year long. So they're probably, a little bit more knowledgeable in depth on each individual team. So you can get some more insights, maybe back up your bets for the weekend, stuff like that. But that being said, let's move into our NFL Week 14 preview, because obviously we still got NFL going on as well. We'll lead off with the Rock Hard Bowl Part 2. Lions got the best of the Packers once again, obviously. Still a proud fan, still repping the sweatshirt, but Lions end up winning. Final score of 34-31. So I'll lead off with this right away. I've seen a lot of Packers fans kind of up in arms on Twitter about the officiating. I'm not really going to play that card quite as much. The one biggest major gripe I had with the officiating was the pick play that they called on the touchdown. I think Christian Watson was truly just trying to run a drag, and the defender ran into him. And that's just kind of how football works, and it was not very egregious at all. Plus, it obviously wasn't designed. Jacobs was a check down that just happened to be on the goal line for the end zone or for the touchdown. Obviously, that touchdown never happens, which is a big game changer. And then later in the game, the Lions ran the complete similar play. Again, I don't think it was really a pick play. I think they were just running. I think it was Laporta on a drag or something like that.
Yeah.
They dumped it off to Gibbs, I think it was, on the sideline. They don't call it there, which, again, I don't think either one was a designed pick play, but you can't call one and not the other. And obviously that was the final drive, which eventually the Lions set up for the game-winning field goal. So that's, I guess, the one great. But at the same time, the Packers had opportunities in this game to put it in a point where it was out of reach. Lions were missing pieces all over on defense. So you got to just get the job done at some point. Pass coverage was bad for a lot of the games with the Packers, which wasn't great to see. Really need to get Jay Alexander back in the secondary. That would help out a lot. And then I guess my final thought, which I believe you feel the same way. I get that it worked out, but Dan Campbell's a fucking psychopath, and if that doesn't work, you look like the biggest just idiot of all time.
Yeah, I mean, we watched the game together. I said the same thing. Nick Saban appears to agree with the move, so I mean, all hail Lord King Saban. So I guess it was a great move. No, it was a good game. Obviously, the Lions pulled out with that many injuries. Obviously, you talked about the penalties, and I'm seeing it more on Twitter of Packer fans and Vikings fans always seem to jump in. So this will just be the only time I'll say it. I don't give a fuck. Feels like those calls have gone against my team for 50 years. So when Packers fans Kurt Benkert, biggest fucking loser of all time, Jesus Christ, dude, you played for the team. It's not your job now to become the super fan who bitches and pulls clips of every single penalty that could have maybe been called and posted on Twitter. So that's such a loser thing to do. Turn into a super fan after being a backup the whole time.
Yeah.
So fucking for that. Third string, yeah. We always post video clips of him in practice. So,
yeah.
So I can't stand that. But again, Packers fans, obviously, yeah, I agree with you. Some of the calls were bullshit. There's the missed holding, and I think it was Gibbs angle route touchdown on fourth down. Yeah, it could have been called holding. I remember a few years ago the hands to the face that weren't called. All Packers fans, that Aaron Rodgers Hail Mary was awesome. Tell me what happened the play before. So no, I don't give a shit. If my team wins, yeah, I'd be pissed too if I was maybe Packers fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a Lions fan, so I'm happy with the win. And again, I thought it was a great game. I could very much see that exact rematch in the NFC Championship.
Yeah. No, obviously I'm disappointed that we lost. I wasn't trying to make it seem like I'm okay with it, but I don't know what happens. The Lions are still a very good team, even with the injuries that they had on the defensive side of the ball. I think they're the best team in the NFL right now. So Packers, I think, are just going to keep getting better though as the season goes on. Still stand by the fact that this is the youngest team in the NFL. They went on a miracle run last year, get in the playoffs, and then won a game, which no one really saw coming. So still a lot to be positive about with the team going forward for the rest of the year. I absolutely think they make the playoff. I honestly don't really see them maybe lose 2 more games at most, I would think. I would be shocked if they finish worse than 2-2 to finish out the year, which I think would put them at least the 6th seed. And that's barring the Vikings don't collapse, which I could still see happening. So Lions did clinch playoff spot with the win. So congrats to you guys. Officially into the playoffs. And I mean, it's not like that was gonna not happen, but
Dan Campbell and he forgot to tell the team. He's ah, shit, my bad, I kind of forgot. Which I love that mentality of we don't care about getting in.
Yeah.
One more little rant /gripe. I have with social media and like TikTok and Twitter, just the uproar of like, oh, Lions get like 1 or 2 good seasons and don't know how to act. Like, like they win and now they're like the most annoying fan base in the league. Like, what the fuck do you think's gonna happen after a team loses for 50 years? And like they're like if people love your team, like you're like the whole nation kind of like loves and like roots for your team, means your team's probably sorry and just the worst team. No, like if my team is better than you, like now is my time where I get to be a fucking dick.
Yeah, and I saw the one like Packers fan, and from his perspective, like in our perspective in general, like as a Packers fan, it does make sense. It's like, yeah, we like did root for the Lions like a little bit, like we did mind when we were just kind of like down like the last 2 years. It's like obviously that last year with Robert wasn't good, and that first year with Love, like, we didn't expect to get the playoffs when we did. It was just kind of like, oh, like shit, like this is awesome, but like we're not gonna have a chance to win the Super Bowl. So at that point, it's like, okay, yeah, the Lions sucked for a long time. It's okay, but now they did have a year of success. They made it a run to the championship game. Now they are good. So it's like, yeah, now I don't want to. I'm not rooting for you anymore.
No,
like
that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Like for Packers fans, it's like you say you say that every team in the NFC North has like a rivalry with you. You do. You guys have been the top of that division for 20 plus fucking years, so you get to run your mouth as you should do if you are winning, which they've been able to do. So now the Lions are here at 12-1, looking to win the division. Yeah, they're gonna talk shit. That's what happens. Why do you think everybody hates the Chiefs?
Yeah,
because they win.
I also do hate the argument, especially like this with the Lions or like certain like when Nebraska rushed the field like for getting 6 wins, stuff like that, and like the whole act like you've been there before crowd. It's like, some people haven't. Like, no, you haven't been there before, so don't act like you've been there before. Like, act like it's like, oh yeah, this is fucking awesome.
Lions just tied their franchise record for wins last year. Tied it with last year's team. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, like we've not been here, never once.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. All right. Well, that's what happened in that one. Now we can get to the rest of the Sunday slate coming up here and Monday night. Jags Titans. No one gives a shit, but I feel like we say this every single week with a game that either of these two teams are in.
Yeah.
Now they play each other. But
like Mac Jones.
Yeah, it's the 2-10 Jaguars against the 3-9 Titans. Titans are gonna be favored by 3.5. I don't know.
I'm gonna be so mad when Scott Hansen just
cuts them
so many goddamn times.
Yeah, that'll be brutal.
Like the only thing I'm hoping for is that this is just like the ultimate meme game, which is like Mac Jones versus Will Levis, like just who can out meme each other.
Yeah, that'd be great. Jets Dolphins. Dolphins gonna be favored by 6.
This would have been such a fun game. Like if we didn't play the season, like preseason outlook, like this game probably would have had so many implications on the division. Now it's like gives a shit.
Yep. Do you think the Dolphins win though? Jets feel like they're just
can't win a game.
Yeah, dead in the water. Vikings Falcons. Vikings gonna be favored by 6 at home. I think that's probably too much.
20 points.
Yeah,
Kirk Cousins revenge game.
Yeah, and especially he's coming off a game where he threw 4 picks. It's like you can't get lower than that.
How much Creed that guy's gonna be listening to before this game?
Yeah, especially Kirk Cousins is a guy who like the last few years doesn't turn over the ball like a lot. Coming off a game like that, like it's hard to believe that he throws like really any picks in this one. I just would not be shocked at all if the Falcons just win this outright.
We're gonna do it again together. We're gonna root for the Vikings downfall. I do think they lose this game. Yeah. So the last 4 times hasn't worked in my favor.
Somehow just keep shitting out wins, and I say that because they just still have just been playing shitty, but are just winning games somehow. So
it's kind of like exactly like the Chiefs, but you know,
but they don't have Patrick Mahomes, who you still kind of know is still there.
Yeah.
And also the Chiefs actually like a legit defense, stuff like that. Don't just rely on a bunch of just weird ass blitz packages. Saints Giants, another game that's just a dumpster of a game. Saints gonna be favored by 5.5 on the road. I assume that the Saints win. I guess I don't. Yeah. Again, just the game just doesn't. Really
I don't think the Giants win another game.
Yeah, we're getting to the point in the season now where again a lot of these games just truly don't matter at all for the future outlook. Other than like a team like the Giants, I guess maybe looking for the number 1 pick.
Yeah, what do you think? Like Giants get the number 1 pick. Who do they take?
Have to go quarterback.
I think they take Shedeur Sanders number 1.
Will he go there?
Yeah, it's a big enough market, right? That's all that family gives a shit about.
Yeah, probably. I think they really want Vegas, but we'll see what happens there. Panthers Eagles. Eagles are at 13.5. Seems like a lot for a Panthers team who's been playing better as of late. I get that the Eagles are also playing very, very good and look like the second best team in probably the league right now behind the Lions. But again, 2 touchdowns in the NFL is a lot, and Bryce Young's playing the best football of his professional career. So I think that feels like too much for
Yeah, and I think we're coming down the stretch of like how much are they going to just keep grounding and pounding Saquon?
Mhm.
I know that's like a dangerous game you're playing late in the season when obviously he's not their sole offense, but like he's the number one reason why they are looked at as like a true threat with the Lions, like up in that top of the NFC. So I don't know how much like obviously he's going to play a lot. Like I don't like see a game where they run Saquon 30 times against Carolina.
Yeah, that's a good point. Browns Steelers are gonna be there by 6.5. Biggest just hope for this game is that we get some just awesome Jameis moments, which is like every week with the Browns. Also curious to see if the Steelers, obviously they had a very, very good week last week against the Bengals, right? That was last week, wasn't it? Yeah. If can they do that against this Browns defense, who's much better than the Bengals? That'll be interesting to see, because if they can, they start looking like a more legitimate contender. Okay, it's no. They are favored by 6.5. Do you think they cover it? Okay. Raiders, Buccaneers. Buccaneers gonna be favored by 6.5. Still fighting for a chance to win their division and get in the playoffs. So I don't think they're going to take this lightly at all. Obviously, Bucky Irving's been ridiculous the last few weeks for the Bucks. Yeah, I think so. I don't think they've ruled him out, and I feel like usually at this point we kind of hear more chatter about him not playing, but I think he's fine. That didn't really look that serious last week. It looked like he just kind of
truly 50-50 whether he's going to play or not.
Yeah, no, I believe he's probably going to play, but again, we'll see.
I'll tell you what, though, Raiders are playing good ball.
Yeah, they're going to keep every game interesting, it feels like, but I feel like this is a game where the Bucks probably win, but the Raiders cover. Touchdown, maybe keep it to like a field goal. Seahawks Cardinals, big game in the NFC West. Obviously, that division's very, very tight. Seahawks probably. I think the Seahawks already beat the Cardinals once, didn't they?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh no, they haven't. No, yeah, they did. They played 2 weeks ago. Okay, yeah, that's why I was.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. I like the Cardinals to win. I think I took them last time they played the Seahawks 2 weeks ago, but this time it's at home. And again, you're starting to get to the point where if the Seahawks win this, you get a Rams loss this week to the Bills, most likely, which is the next game we'll talk about. The Seahawks get to a position where they are close to kind of sealing division. So must-win game. I feel like the Cardinals to a point, but see what happens. I like them to win though. Again, Bills Rams. That's the next game. It's in Los Angeles. Bills are still going to be favored by 3.5. They're rolling right now. Josh Allen looks like he's the MVP. They're 10-2. The Rams a little up and down at certain points. I just feel like they just don't quite have enough like juice anymore to keep up with this Bills team. But I mean, you never know. Stafford.
I think the Rams can do it though. I think they do.
I don't think they're dead by any means, like in the water. I feel like this Bills team is really good though.
The top teams in the league who I see like are really due for like a letdown like spot would be this Buffalo team where they just like come out and Stafford and receivers have a field day out there. But I don't know how true that is, but I don't know. This game's weird to me.
Yep. Next one up, we have the Bears and 49ers. 49ers will be favored by 3.5. Feels like two teams who are just kind of dead in the water right now. But based on the fact that do
the Bears have that juice of new coach?
I mean, maybe, but on the other hand, it's like I still think the 49ers have a better roster, and you still just really never know. I mean, Shanahan's a good coach. Obviously, I don't think a ton of Purdy, but like he has, like, he knows how to win games. Still a good roster there in general. So I kind of think the Niners win the game, but like you said, that the interim coach shot in the vein
is real. It's happened a lot. Yeah.
So
I saw. Spawn Hour on TikTok.
Yeah.
I saw an interesting video that I agree with. It's like DJ Moore's been like very visibly like a diva this year and kind of like bitching at his team, and like it's like, which is so out of character for a guy who like never put up a fight and was just a hard worker in Carolina in just truly the worst situations. Now he comes here, he's in a better situation than he was in last year. I get that they won more. At this point, they're going to lose more games than they did last year with Justin Fields. But I don't know. We'll see what the second half looks like. But they just play only the NFC North, so I don't know if they win another game outside of maybe this week. And it's like, but now like we're bitching all of a sudden. Like I just don't get it.
Bears are also 0-5 this year, so that's worth noting as well.
After this game, isn't it just solely NFC North?
It's pretty close. It's the Seahawks.
And then
Vikings, Lions, Packers.
Okay.
Yep. Well, Vikings, Lions, Seahawks, Packers. That's how it goes.
Okay.
But yeah, they have a tough stretch coming up. We'll see. Chargers, Chiefs, Sunday night. Chargers win this game. The battle for the AFC West is definitely live. Obviously, they'd still be 2 games back, but getting that head-to-head win would obviously be huge going down the stretch of the rest of the season. Chargers, fairly favorable schedule here, ending out the year. They play the Buccaneers next week, which, at home feels like a game they could probably win. Same thing, Broncos at home. Broncos have been good this year, but at home for the Chargers, I think that they probably win that game, and they finish out with the Patriots and the Raiders. So Chargers have a realistic chance, I think, to go on a 5-win run here, finish out the year 6-0. That'd put them at 13-4.
Jim Harbaugh would just be like the immediate, not even a contention coach of the year.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Unless the Vikings somehow keep it up.
I'm gonna look at those odds right now. You want to play while you keep talking? We can play a little guessing game of you guess the.
And then as far as this, on the flip side, talking about the AFC West race, the Chiefs, a little harder. They go on the road with the Browns, which shouldn't be too tough a task, but they play the Texans. It's at home, but
Texans do not look like that team this year.
But if you do get a good version of the Texans, could be a tough game. They go on the road with the Steelers on Christmas, which Steelers can make ugly and win that game. And then on the road with the Broncos, Mile High in January. Bo Nix continues to play better throughout the year. Excuse me. You never know. Chiefs drop a couple. Chargers win this game. AFC West could become interesting. So Chiefs favored by 4. But I like the Chargers to keep this game very interesting. Not really tough game to really pick a true winner on, honestly. But I think home field advantage and just the bullshit that they seem to get away with every week, you almost have to lean Chiefs just barely. But I don't know. The Chargers almost sounds stupid to say when they have 3 less wins, but they have borderline at times a better team than the Chiefs this year. So,
yeah,
I don't know. It's a tough game to pick. And then Bengals Cowboys wrapping it up on Monday Night Football. Since he's going to be favored by 5, just no defenses in this game, right?
No, I mean, Bengals are favored by 5, but are they already a dead team walking though? It's like, who says that they come out and just beats a team that they should?
Well, they might score 45, but they'll give up 48.
Yeah, Cooper Rush will throw for 6.
It just wouldn't be shocking, really, honestly. I just wouldn't be dumbfounded at all if they somehow put up 30 plus points and lose to a Cooper Rush led Cowboys. Also, new developments on the college football side of things. That kind of wraps up. I guess I don't know. Do you have anything else to say?
No.
Okay. So, new development here in the college football world. Sam had commented earlier. I saw it, didn't really bring it up because we were kind of in the middle of NFL. But Travis dropped to minus 1,000 to win the Heisman. GT back. And now Nathan, who's sitting right here in the room with us, commented as well. Travis odds now at minus 700 on DraftKings. So
what we're saying is if we get 150 yard and another touchdown, Travis Hunter wins Heisman.
No, Ashton GT wins Heisman.
Ashton GT wins Heisman.
Yeah, no,
we have a massive second half here.
Yeah, no, it's very real.
And I hope for Sam's, Travis Hunter dick riding ass. I hope they I don't care if they score 35-0. I hope they just ground and pound this guy.
I mean, they have to at this point be I think in the back of their heads are listen, we go 12-1, we are we're going to playoffs. That's gonna be cool. But it's
Heisman's
let's run this guy into the ground and win him a Heisman.
Dude, they're gonna get Boise State though. Seriously, let's say all goes great. You get the 3rd seed in the college football playoff. That campus is jumping. This is a season they'll remember forever at Boise State. You get smoked in the first round. You get an awful pull against
Georgia,
Georgia, Ohio State.
Yeah, it's
okay, yeah, they get absolutely smoked. Kind of it was a fun season. You have a Heisman winner, that'll live forever.
Yeah, no, it's a huge pedigree builder for a program too.
How awesome would it be if he just rips one right now?
Yeah, no, that'd be sick. So yeah, that's I guess kind of the live watch really. Obviously, Boise State in terms of the playoff doesn't really matter at this point. It feels like they're going to win the game and they'll get in, they'll be fine. But the G&T Heisman campaign officially back on here in Conference Championship weekend, so that's big. Before we get out of here, let's move into some rock hard bets.
Want to play a little game?
Oh, what are we playing?
Guess the odds for Coach of the Year.
Okay.
I'll give you who's 6th right now, and then you try to fill out 1 through 5.
Okay. 6th.
I mean, we're only mark we have time.
Yeah, no, but 6th is just a weird but sure, yeah.
Well, I'll give you 6 that you don't guess them, and then just based on 1 through 5. So in 6 right now is Dan Quinn at plus 1,400.
Okay, well, I'm not going to try and guess odds. I'm just going to try and guess like.
Yes, just guess like where they are in spot.
All right, well, just a nasty run to start off for GT there.
Yes.
Nathan,
can you give me my other beer?
I feel like O'Connell has to be 1 right now, right?
He is in third.
Third, really? Okay. Number 1 is Harbaugh on 1?
Is he 1 or?
Yes, he won.
No, he is not. But I will give it to you. He is 5th.
Okay. I'm trying to think of who's like overperformed this year. Is Sean Payton in there?
He is 4th. So you have
Okay.
3, 4, 5. You're missing 1 and 2.
1, 2. That feels weird. That like they should be obvious, I guess. Okay, maybe I see. It's more like I'm very involved with the fan base. I see them talk about it. Is LaFleur on there by chance?
Matt LaFleur is not on there. He's actually not in the
I see a lot
top. He's not in the top 10.
Yeah, I know. People think they should be getting love though for winning games from Lake Willis, which I think he should to some point, to a certain degree. Is Dan Campbell in the top 2?
He's 1.
Really?
He's actually like minus 200.
That seems no respect. Like obviously he's a good coach, but it's like you have like one of the best rosters in the NFL. I think you were kind of expected to be one of the best
I think
teams.
it's one of those situations where I think they're favored to win every single game from here on out. So if they finish the year 16-1,
yeah, yes.
it's tough to not
So
give
is-
the guy coach.
So
of the
it's 2 like Sirianni or Andy Reid or something.
year. No, neither of them.
Mike Tomlin.
Yes.
Okay.
So right now, Dan Campbell's a pretty heavy favorite. I think that is just in the assumption of they have obviously one of the top rosters. I think it's just if they do win out, go 16-1 with the fucking Detroit Lions, he'll probably win it.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, now you want to go to rock hard bets?
Yep.
Okay. So here we go. Here's a full slate. Got our records there. Obviously, both of us over 500 now. I believe last time we did this, we both had pretty good weeks, right? Did you go undefeated last time?
I went 5-1. You went 4-2.
Okay, yeah.
You guys, you kind of got hoed on NFL because we both went 3-0 in college.
I've gotten hoed on NFL all year. So if I had only bet college all year, I think I would only have like maybe 2 or 3 losses. I've crushed in college, but anyways, I've got Arizona State money line. Again, I already talked about it in the kind of the preview, so I won't go too in depth. But I just think they're the better team. They're hotter right now. They're 1.5, like they're minus 1.5, and the money lines that could pick them. So it feels stupid to not take money line here. Georgia and Texas over 49.5 feels like there's just gonna be a lot of points scored in this one. Obviously, last time they had 45 combined, and both teams turned it over multiple times. I feel like that doesn't happen this time. I feel like both teams play a lot cleaner, score a lot of points. Penn State and Oregon under 15.5. I mean, it's the Big Ten. They both really haven't been super stellar on offense all year. The strength of Penn State's obviously the defense. Oregon's offense is good, but I think still is recognized their defense is very, very good as well, and recognize this is kind of a strength of the team. So 15.5 is a lot. Like I was shocked that Penn State Oregon has a higher line than Georgia and Texas.
Yeah.
So feels like a pretty easy one to go over on the Georgia Texas, under on Penn State and Oregon. So
okay. I think I remember my college. You're gonna have to tell me because I can't really see. I took Clemson money line.
Yep.
Okay, Clemson money line. It's just a system play. Like I get SMU. It's 11-1. They looked really good. It's like you look at their schedule. I still just am not like their best wins against Louisville. They have like quality wins though across the board, but like they don't have like a true defining like this is why SMU is like why they're 11-1 and great.
Mhm.
Don't see it. I get Clemson's 3 losses. I just trust the coach more. I trust the quarterback more. Kate Klubnik is still a very solid quarterback. The second one, I have my alt spread, right?
yep, Oregon.
Okay,
6.5.
kind of like we've never done this in rock hard bets, but I just think sometimes I've been a pussy taking money lines when I probably shouldn't have. So I'm going to counter it with this. I'm going to take Oregon, take the alt spread. I'm going to bump it up to 6.5. I just don't see a world in which Penn State like not keeps it close. I don't think they keep this one with a touchdown though. So I'm going to take Oregon minus 6.5. I think it's a pretty safe bet if I'm going to be honest with you. So then my left, I think it's ASU minus 1.5.
Yeah.
Same reason you said. Not gonna lie, to see what the odds were on the money line. Figured it would be minus 115, which it probably is, but I'll just play safe, take the points.
Yeah, fair enough. NFL, mentioned it earlier. And obviously you guys can already see we have 2 of the same bets in NFL. So, pretty favorable bets there in a couple spots this week, it felt like. So Panthers plus 13.5. Said it when we were talking about it in the the game preview. I get that the Eagles are on fire, but it's like we said, hard to believe that they run Saquon to the ground too much and really try and pour it on against a Panthers team that you just don't, need to do that against. And then again, Bryce Young's playing the best football of his
He's having fun.
having fun for sure. They actually look like a competent football team for the first time in like the last 2 years. So I feel like
Chiefs down to the wire. It's like,
yeah,
this should not be a 14-point spread.
100%. I guess I'll just do the other one that we both have: Chargers +4. Again, talked about it. Chiefs.
I kind of hate this bet, but like I took it because it's like this is a spot where Jim Harbaugh gets a win like this, like solidifies himself. But like again, it's like I feel like this was the same exact spread it was when they first played.
Yeah, it's hard because the Chiefs just again they feel like they win these games no matter what every time, especially at home. But again, it seems like they do win with that devil magic, and the devil magic kind of contributes to them winning by like 1, 2, 3 points, like a last-second field goal. So that's why I like the +4. Like if this was +2.5, I don't think I'd take it. But +4, I feel like it's just enough where I feel comfortable that they could maybe keep close enough. And like I said, I think they could maybe even win the game. So that's my reasoning there. And then finally, my last bet, where we finally do differ in the NFL. Cincy and Dallas over 49.5. Again, talked about it in the preview. Feels like Cincy themselves damn near scores like 30 or 40 points every week, it seems like. So I feel like they probably do that again. And then I think Dallas is going to be able to score with this Cincinnati defense as well. So, I mean, this game is like 35-31 written all over it, I feel like. But we'll see. So
I think my last one's Cardinals -2.5, right? I hate this bet. I hate it for so many reasons. I hate how we've both just gotten killed by this Cardinals team. They've been in a funk. They're back at home with a huge divisional game. I think Kyler and the boys finally like stop settling for field goals, punch in the end zone. I think it's a big game for Kyler. I think he throws for 3 runs for 1.
Yeah, I almost took that one too. I like that one a lot. But like you just said, I literally didn't take it just because I've gotten burned by them. It feels like a lot lately. But otherwise, yeah, I love it otherwise. So, all right. That is Rock Hard Bets for the week. Again, no Kelly's Geeky Rankings today because Clyde is gone. And then also, for those who don't remember, we decided to make a switch here going forward. Mondays, we'll do Rock Hard Takes. And then Thursdays, we'll do Rock Hard Bets. And that's just kind of the way we're going to do it going forward. So might get a little bit more complicated once we get out of NFL season because we'll have play bets kind of spread over a week a little bit, I feel like.
Yeah.
That unless we want to try to limit it between like
that day.
We can only bet between like Friday and Monday or something like that. So our bets are wrapped up by the next show. I don't know.
I think we probably should.
Yeah. Because there's
also like the best college basketball
games
are on the weekends. So yeah.
So it's a good point too. All right. That's gonna do it for episode 46 for Rock Hard Ball. Like we said, quicker episode tonight. Just 1 full hour right on the dot right now. So hopefully we got you guys all set and ready to go for conference championship weekend. See how it plays out. We'll come back on Monday, discuss it. We will know the playoff field by then, so we'll have plenty to get into there. But until then, thank you guys all for tuning in. We'll be back Monday at 9 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, catch you later.